Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Money Means Business. My name is Ahmed Nader and tonight we're going to focus on several economic developments that took place here in Egypt for the past week and even specifically today on Saturday, and I'm honored to be shedding more light on those economic developments with my guest for tonight, Dr. Mokhtar Darweesh, the expert in international relations. Thank you very much for being with us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. To join always our TV, Nile TV International. And with you, of course, Mr. Ahmed.
And you happy Ramadan?
Yeah, and happy Ramadan, of course, to all watching us.
As in speaking of Ramadan, we'll be shedding more light on the activities of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. The main top stories for today, they focus on one of them as President al-Sisi held a meeting on Saturday with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and the Minister of Finance, Ahmed Kujak. Presidential spokesman Mohammed al-Shinnawi said that President al-Sisi gave directives to implement a new social package ahead of Ramadan aimed at supporting the low-income groups. The President also directed that February salaries for the state employees be paid during the current week ahead of the holy month. The meeting also approved the additional financial allocations to complete Phase 1 of the Decent Life Initiative, create job opportunities and strengthening the health sector by improving the medical services, treating critical cases, reducing the waiting lists and accelerating the implementation of the comprehensive health insurance system. For his part, the Finance Minister reviewed the latest developments in the negotiations with the International Monetary Fund, the efforts to reduce the public debt ratios, the financial and the economic performance, as well as the plans to enhance the investor confidence and boost the competitiveness of the Egyptian economy. Good news, Dr. Darweesh, a new social package for the citizens ahead of the holy month of Ramadan. How do you see the efforts of the political leadership in general, more specifically under the tenure of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, to be easing the burdens financially and economically on the citizens?
Of course, His Excellency is awareing the needs of Egyptian requirements and needs. That's why he's pushing that, and this was the starting of the meeting with the Ministry of Financial Issues related to that and regarding to that, and try to dedicate it gaining more time, before the months, because he is aware, that showing us our proof to us that our Excellency, our President, is aware of the needs, and that's why he's supporting Egyptians related to that issues, and trying to get, as you mentioned in your starting, that to get the months, completing months before the months and getting end, to supporting Egyptian to getting Ramadan's needs, of course, related to that matter, of course. And he is pushing also to, I see that there is initially points related to more jobs and more increasing jobs related to that. And I believe also one of the assistants related to the First Minister related to economy and investment. That is why that we putting more issues on that related to that, and that show that the solution for any economy and any financial issue is starting by a new investment, gravitated more investment, more projects becoming in Egypt, and this is the solutions. And I believe we will show this coming months what's going on related to that, and I believe it's going as a management directory reference to the management system as organization chart from the Excellency of the President and the First Minister and the Assistant of the First Minister. It's the things, and he be getting involved in every matter related to that, to have reporting daily what's going on in financial, what's going on in economy, what is the increasing. And it was, we need to appreciate also Dr. Rani al-Mashad before his effort, and we will see that this is gaining related to that. And to everybody who's watching us, I believe that our President have a reporting daily what's going on in investment day by day.
Yes.
What's the stopping of that? How many investment? How there's more companies starting related to that and being recording in our government. And this is the solution, and we'll see inshallah more coming related to that subjects.
Hopefully. From social protection to aviation, as Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli witnessed on Saturday the ceremony of joining the first Airbus A350-900 aircraft to the fleet of Egypt Air. The aircraft is part of the broader agreement to upgrade the national carriers fleet, with Egypt Air becoming the first airline in North Africa to operate this advanced model. The new Airbus A350-900 is the first of 16 aircraft contracted under the deal. The addition promotes the Egyptian position as a regional aviation hub. The Prime Minister described the Airbus introduction as a significant milestone, enabling the operation of the long-haul routes reaching the western United States as well as the far north and east of Asia. He noted that the aircraft's addition comes within President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's vision to modernize the aviation system and strengthen the sector's contribution to the national economy. Speaking during the ceremony, Madbouli said that he had been keen on working closely with the successive ministers of the civil aviation to realize what he described as a long-standing goal. He emphasized that developing the aviation sector, as directed by President al-Sisi, represents a key pillar of the Egyptian soft power and the primary driver for boosting the inbound and the outbound global tourism. Minister of Civil Aviation Sameh Al-Hifni said that the introduction of the new aircraft represents a qualitative leap in the fleet modernization program and further strengthens the national carrier's capacity to deliver the high-quality services to the passengers. He emphasized that this step aligns with the state's broader strategy to develop the civil aviation sector and reinforce the Egyptian position as the leading regional hub for the air transport. Dr. Darweesh, how do you see the statements of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli stating that whatever happened today and the qualitative leap that we have seen today in terms of the additions of the Airbus to the Egyptian aircraft carriers and the Egypt Air operation or the operating systems as we have seen today is a part of the vision of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, as we have seen in the past week when President al-Sisi was returning from the United Arab Emirates after the visit to Abu Dhabi. He inspected what was going on, the developments taking place in the aviation sector, and the new additions to the aircraft operating systems. How do you see the importance of this vision for the political leadership?
It's very important related to that, to taking care about air transportation, air transportations, and of course aviations. As a matter of logistics, aviations, as a matter also to get more destination, more open destination related to that, regarding this type of Airbus A350 that also degravitated and supporting income for tourism of abroading, and you become, as we mentioned before, a very important area, and you are one of creating political and solution around the world, as we mentioned before, starting by Egypt, and you was need to this type to upgrading your aviation aircraft.
Yes.
And this is show that we was have visions and missions related to that in this related to the Ministry of
Civil Aviation.
Civilization, and it was need to be upgrading this initial, and this is show that you don't starting from yesterday. That's meaning you have a very well plan you was starting on, but it just was need to get a little bit pushing and supporting, and this to creating or moving from file to file, that show us internally and internationally that our Excellency, our President, is aware of income, what's going on inside it, and you are aware of internationally of what's going on to your countries or your country's needs. And this was very, very respecting to have this type of aircrafts in Egypt, and to also to supporting Egypt Airline to have more opening these destinations, and to be covering the whole world, and to supporting the other aircraft to be having this one of type to supporting that transportations related to that.
Yes, and speaking about the importance of dealing with the issues within Egypt and outside of Egypt, we'll be heading to the African file as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Badr Abdulati, chaired the Egyptian participation in the African Union Summit. The summit discussed ways to strengthen the joint African action and address the political, security and the developmental challenges facing the continent. It is scheduled that the Foreign Minister, on behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, will present a report on the activities of the Peace and Security Council in Africa in light of Egypt's presidency of the Council during the month of February. The report would also represent the reconstruction and the developmental efforts in the post-conflict situations in Africa, in addition to presenting a report on the activities of the Steering Committee of the Heads of State and Governments of the African Union Development Agency, the NAPAD. Dr. Darweesh, the importance of Egypt heading the African Peace and Security Council for the month of February, and more specifically being represented by Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdulati in Ethiopia. How do you see it?
I see that, as we mentioned, that we are moving in several ways. One of it was important that show and was respecting and caring about Africa. That's been starting Dr. Badr Abdulati, the first conference meeting related to Africa Security, National Security Council. Is starting by that, putting the idea and the planning related to that. Yes. And as you was been mentioned, is a very important thing, reconstruction, regaining to all what's happening in Africa this couple of months. Yes. And immediately solving what we mean the red line solutions related to Sudan, related to what's going on in Nigeria and the new Somalian, new Somalian, okay, because what we mentioned is Somaliland is very important national. Yes. Regarding to our Red Sea and one of the opening important gate related to Egypt. Yes. And immediately we're starting for 2 tracks by developments and also finalize or fixing any troubles and problems and stopping war immediately. And that's a show and prevent that Egypt was very well preparing, very well ready to all of type of what's happening, and that's is the gaining to improvement, that is the peace is the solution. By we're having now, we are the directing of the National Council related to National Africa Council related to this part of months, and we already starting our demand that never believe in stopping Dr. Badr Abdulati, of course. Yes. By the President, and working in several direction and several sides, and one of important things related to that part of it is Africa, to get solutions, and was being mentioned to the 8 requirements that we was planning from Egypt: stopping war, more developments, more increasing economy related to Africa, more gravitated for investment, and also using globalization, using API, using technology and techniques, and being communicate, applauding international by getting supporting. But the insistent things by our Excellency that any issues related to Africa is the decision is being by the African people themselves, or by their country from any part of foreign what's going on in the war, by the people themselves, not initially to be getting any things related or directing country by any other country approved it.
No interference, but cooperation.
Yes, of course.
This is the main topic for the upcoming top story, as upon directives of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and the Egyptians Abroad, Dr. Badr Abdulati participated in the 2nd African-Italian Summit. Abdulati reviewed the Egyptian vision towards promoting strategic partnership between the African continent and Italy in a manner that supports the sustainable development efforts and enhance stability across the Black Continent. He also emphasized that the convening of the summit reflects the importance of establishing a sustainable institutional framework for Africa-Italy relations based on the regular dialogue, long-term planning, and the balanced approach to share the challenges. Abdulati stressed that achieving sustainable peace in Africa requires the comprehensive vision that addresses the root causes of the conflicts by closely linking peace, security, and development. This includes investing in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and the economic and the social empowerment of youth and women. Dr. Darweesh, the cooperation that we were speaking of, not interference within the internal affairs of
not involving,
yes. But the cooperation, how important is it? The coordination between Africa in general, Italy or Europe in general, and more specifically between Egypt and Italy?
I'm very glad to hear this news and these top stories, because our programs is money means business, money means cooperations, gaining from both sides, not from one side. And as a clear, I have been dedicated with Italy. Italy is very important places in Europe, of course, and we have several Egyptians living there, and African, of course. And Italy is needs more. I mean, dedicating employee to working and workers and have several opportunities to work and jobs there in Italy, but they need the experienced people, training, very well training, or very well qualified workers or employee to work in that. And I show that Dr. Badr Abdulati, as I believe, he making history and the same of getting more systematics and planning, and as you was mentioned, to be on long term or long dialogue to get this idea in Egypt and Africa, and get more supporting, get more experience supporting for gaining from both sides, not one part side.
Yes.
And I believe Italy is very one of the gate for Europe, especially dedicated, and them have long relations with Egypt and Africa, and them needs to getting back to increasing that and manage that for coming international relations, more than international relations, and with investment, of course, using and depending on needs or relations needs between the two parts of from whatever, from Egypt or Africa. And that's to show that how you've been directing and been opening the investment or creating investment. And I need to also add something related to Dr. Badr Abdulati.
Yes.
He was working one of the school for our ex-minister, of course, Dr. Amr Musa, by creating more difference to the needs of what's going on in the whole world. We appreciate, of course, he's one of, we can mention, a hero of international relations, Dr. Badr Abdulati. His effort, his actions, he's going to cooperating, open gates. I mean, know where is which door to open it, and Italy, one of the very important door, and I believe we will see coming investment or coming opening opportunities with Italy this coming few months, inshallah.
Yes, opportunity of investment in Africa. This leads us to the upcoming top story and the activities of Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdulati for today, as the Minister of Foreign Affairs met the heads of the African Export-Import Bank, the African Development Bank, and the CEO of NAPAD on the sidelines of the African Union Summit. Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and the Egyptians Abroad, Badr Abdulati, met with Mr. George Olombi, head of the African Export-Import Bank, Mr. Sidi Weld Adesina, the President of the African Development Bank, and Ms. Nados Bakili, the CEO of the African Union Development Agency, the NAPAD. The meetings took place within the framework of strengthening consultation and coordination within the African financial and development institutions and supporting the joint continental action. During the meetings, the Minister of Foreign Affairs affirmed that Egypt attaches special priority to supporting the continental integration and enhancing cooperation with the regional economic groupings, stemming from its belief in the importance of the joint African action in addressing the development challenges, as well as the chairmanship of the NAPAD Steering Committee. He also expressed his aspiration to advance the economic integration efforts and accelerate the implementation of the Agenda 2063 targets in partnership with the continental development institutions, foremost among them the African Export-Import Bank, the African Development Bank and NAPAD, as they constitute key pillars for supporting sustainable development and implementing the continental priorities. Dr. Darweesh, how do you see the importance and the significance of boosting the bilateral ties between Egypt and the African Bank, the African International Cooperation Bank and the NAPAD, all at once, as we did see today during the meetings of Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdullah?
Of course, it all at once. I need to add something related to Italy. We was having several projects with Italy related to power station, electricians, water treatment, wastewater treatment, and we have several projects related to that, but we don't want to mention the name of this cooperation, but we also have a huge project in Egypt from Italy before. Regarding to your questions, that show that's become cooperating together with all these three organizations, the reference to investment and banks and related to that, and that show that you need to we try to handle and manage to the gaining of that returning to Africa, to returning to the funds to be coming from clear way to Africa, to cooperating, to finalizing and creating the investment to become to the light, and put agenda, as you mentioned, related to all the projects starting from 2026 to 2030, to know what's the importance of that and achievement of the file was been mentioned in our agenda, whatever in Africa, and also with Egypt related to that initial things. And it's very important to the investment to be coming clear, to be coming by time. I mentioned reference to the plan, a reference to the become effective to the earth, I mean to the right positions related to that.
Yes, and the final top story for today, Foreign Minister Badr Abdullah stressed that the continent's health security depends on its ability to locally produce the medicines, the vaccines, and to reduce the excessive reliance on the foreign sources. He said that the recent global health crises have proven that the local manufacturing is no longer a developmental option, but is a strategic necessity. During his participation in the Presidential Roundtable on the local manufacturing of health products, with a focus on security and health sovereignty in Africa, held upon the directives of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Foreign Minister Abdullah reiterated that the Egyptian Drug Authority is the first body in Africa to achieve the level 3 maturity from the World Health Organization in regulating medicines and vaccines, with the ongoing progress toward the level 4. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Abdullah asserted the Egyptian readiness to place this expertise at the service of the continent to enhance the products and accelerate the sustainable local production. In the same context, Foreign Minister Abdullah assured the importance of facilitating the intra-African trade in the pharmaceutical products within the framework of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Dr. Darweesh, the healthcare in Egypt and in Africa, one of the main priorities of the vision of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi ever since he took office in 2014, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic that took over the world, and even with some presidential initiatives that we have seen being implemented here in Egypt and propagated once again into Africa, like eliminating virus C.
Yes, of course. One of the topics files related to that, and need also to be having internally in Africa, all of dedicated to medical. We must in Africa, depending in ourselves in any files related to medicine and medical needs and drugs also. And this was our excellency visions, that to be have manufacturing all type of the medical internally. We're starting that, as you've been mentioned in your questions, in 2024, and starting to passing this message to all Africa, and we've been exporting several type of medicine and medical needs to that, and also we was supporting Gaza in the mission of that. All of the type is becoming from Egypt. Egypt. And also the second thing is what's happening in COVID was being tried to get this solution and making in Egypt,
Yes.
okay, with cooperating with the other countries that have the rights for that related to manufacturing this type of medicine and medical, and it should be taken care about this file on Africa, all of it. And we have several, I believe we will see this coming couple of years, several factory related to medical and medicines needs to be have it in Africa, with cooperating with Egypt, of course. And it's one of important investment, one of the important also political and highlights files, because you should be having your drugs and your medical internally, don't depending to export it or to get it from out of Africa. And this is one of the Union, African Union needs, and should be have it in Africa.
Yes, and speaking about Egypt and Africa, Doctor, allow me please to be going out for a quick break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still watching Money Means Business, and I'm honored to be having with me over the program for tonight Dr. Mokhtar Darweesh, the expert in international relations. Thank you very much, Doctor, for being with us.
I'm glad and always to join.
Once again, we were speaking about the importance of the participation of Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdulati in the African Union Summit that is taking place in Ethiopia. But on another front, how do you see the importance of the economic diplomacy that we are undertaking under the tenure of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi within the vision to be boosting the bilateral relations between Egypt and Africa?
This is true, as you've been mentioned, that was ready and planning and preparing for that. And initially Africa suffering this coming of last couple of 5 years, and what's happening initially in Sudan is very important. And Egypt was not stopping, see what's going on, and just mentioned being involved, dedicated with that file immediately since the starting of it, by cooperating with Sudanian people themselves, what the government there, to having them opinion, to solving all of types. And this show that Egypt never ever stopped to supporting and believe and working with peace, approaching from Africa to outside it. And that's why it become on charge. That's why I believe we can mention that in international relations it become on charge now, yes, by cooperating with Africa, not the matter of just Egyptians idea or planning. It's a matter of supporting with Africa and to get solution internally from Africa by themselves, and you give them your experience, your supporting to finalize or getting a hand to find solution for all what's suffering in Africa or what's happening in Africa. And our Excellency supporting that and traveling abroad, and also Dr. Badr Abdulati never stopping to any things or any solutions, find any solution related to Africa to help Africa to get back to stopping war immediately and to be having back get back to the African Union to working together for more increasing developments. I was still keeping Africa is a jewel, but need supporting, need to working planning, not stopping by war and dedicating this what we've been achievement. We need more stability. It's very important to have stability in Africa. More investment, more achieving to the planning, what's happening, planning to that, and cooperating, as you've been mentioned, very important to get to cooperating with all the world, not to be involving or to get directing from outside of the African people.
And we need to be doing that, Dr. Darweesh, through the artificial intelligence, through the digital transformation that we have had a leap in this sector for the past 10 or 12 years. And we'll be having a report about the Artificial Intelligence AI Everything Summit in the Middle East and Africa. We'll be having more details in the upcoming report about this event that took place here in Egypt with the participation of more than 30 countries. Stay tuned.
Under the patronage of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the two-day AI Everything MEA Egypt 2026 was held in Cairo. The summit, organized by GTEx Global and hosted by the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, MCIT, alongside the Information Technology Industry Development Agency, ITIDA, is part of Egypt's second national AI strategy, which aims to attract investment and generate an estimated $42.7 billion in AI-related economic value by 2030. The summit is the largest specialized artificial intelligence event in the region and represents a qualitative shift for AI Everything from being part of broader technology exhibitions to becoming a fully independent event, hosted for the first time in Egypt. This reflects international recognition of Egypt's pivotal role in leading the regional AI agenda, as demonstrated through the following achievements. Hosting this global event crowns an integrated national journey that began in 2019 with the establishment of the National Artificial Intelligence Council, the institutional framework responsible for formulating and coordinating AI policies in Egypt. In 2021, Egypt launched its first national artificial intelligence strategy, which laid the foundations for leveraging AI technologies to support sustainable development goals, improve the quality of government services, and enhance the competitiveness of the national economy. In 2023, Egypt further strengthened this path by launching the Egyptian Charter for Responsible Artificial Intelligence, aligned with the principles of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. This underscored the state's commitment to the ethical, safe, and responsible use of AI technologies, achieving a balance between innovation and the protection of societal rights. The second edition of the National Artificial Intelligence Strategy 2025-2030 reflects a more mature phase, focusing on deepening the economic and social impact of AI, expanding its applications in priority sectors, supporting the innovation ecosystem and startups, strengthening governance and building human capacities, thereby consolidating Egypt's position as a regional AI hub in the Middle East and Africa. These institutional and strategic efforts have translated into tangible international achievements. Egypt ranked first in Africa in the 2025 Government AI Readiness Index issued by Oxford Insights, advancing 14 places globally to rank 51st out of 195 countries. Egypt's hosting of the first edition of the AI Everything Middle East and Africa Summit and exhibition from February 10th to 12th, 2026 was not a coincidental choice. Rather, it was the culmination of an integrated national path that has established Egypt as a rising regional power in artificial intelligence and a trusted partner for the international community in leading technological transformation across the region.
Welcome back. You're still watching Money Means Business. Dr. Darweesh, the importance of having in Egypt a national strategy for the artificial intelligence between the years 2025 and 2030. How do you see it?
We see that as a proof of that. That's our Excellency, his President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Of course, he was insist to using and having API and having that related globalizations and internally because it's a future as it become. And related to that file, there is several improvement from idea the government's using that and several meeting and conference and being added to most of running business and projects related to that, and investment is a very important related to investment, as everybody was watching us related to our last report. And I need to say that API is very, very important, but to have experience or to get the knowledge or to gaining knowledge. But it's not a matter of copy of paste. Some people that afraid from both sides or two tracks that API could be as the human. No, I believe it never will be like a human. It's supporting human. You need the data, you're searching for it, you get some solutions, you know what's going happening in the past. And related to other sides, gaining experienced people. It's not a matter to have I need a research or something to get copy or paste. No, it's a matter of I get experience, I'll get a knowledge, using, see what's happening or what is going on in that type of file and gaining in that. As this, returning back to this, we will show that our government and the president had been make this challenge related to all the governments become, and we have now most of the digitalization in our government. Before we need to do ID, it was taken and you must go. Now everything
wasting time.
Yeah, they become now all of it or approved. You just need and just have several machines to get all permissions and approval from government paper to do it. That show that we have been looking for that, and we was preparing, and we was in and to having this idea. But it's not a matter that you stopping this. No, you need more effort to increasing and join the API upgrading and going on. It's big facility and make easier for everything. I mean, even for gravitating, and it's a matter of talking language now. If you want more investment, it's a matter of talking language, I believe, in related to that.
Yes, and speaking about investment, how do you think that artificial intelligence and the digital transformation could be impacting positively the economic boost that we have seen here for the past decade, and to be gaining more investments in the future for the Egyptian economy?
First of all, it makes all the achievement from what's happening in investment being sharing approved. Because and related to that question, let everybody's watching us before the investment come. He needs some what we say, some answers, some what's happening, some idea, some what's going in that type of place. What is the investment related to economy? What's happening in this country? What is the gaining? What is the benefits? If you don't sharing this data and these things, how you dedicate it with investment? And any investment when he putting his financial issue need to increase it, not to lose it. And without using API and globalization, you don't find any investment. We can say it's become a one coin, two piece of one coin. So if you don't have it, you don't have investment. It's increasing investment, of course, increasing the gravitating solutions and data, easier to get the all investor to have to be charged to be token, as we say. It's become of the token language. We can mention and related to that. API is becoming the token language in this part of investment and needed to finalize it immediately. And this is also on the other track, being involved the government or any supporting that to be having to keeping running this going on, and to help any comments that's happening or something to be solving or to be achievement related to that.
Dr. Mokhtar Darweesh, the international relations expert, thank you very much for being with us.
Appreciate it.
And this brings us to the end of Money Means Business for this week. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.